The red pill trains you to attract low quality women. The common advice that they give, which we're going to go into in this video, would make you believe that you're, you know, I've got 20 girls on my radar. I can sleep with whoever I want because, you know, I've built myself up. I've got the physique, I've got the money, I've used the game and the tactics that they tell you to implement. But what they don't tell you is the type of women that you're attracting when you do that. You're attracting very low quality, insecure women. If you use the tactics that they recommend, you're not going to find your dream wife or the future mother of your kids. If you're anything like I am and you watch these videos, you're not going to want to associate with those types of women long term. And the common advice they give you is all about games and manipulation. It's to you know, reply late. Don't show any sort of emotional attachment or investment in the situation. To be avoidant, because, you know, if you keep them chasing you, that's how you build up attraction, by not showing interest and let them chase you. All this stuff, a real quality woman isn't gonna want to play these games. A girl who knows her worth isn't gonna mess around with someone who's doing stuff like this. They'll be gone in an instant before you can even know what's happened. But the problem is, young guys see this, and they see the people talking about it. Your likes of you know, Dan Bilzerian, Andrew Tate. They have 10 women around them, and they're the ones that give out this advice. And so people assume automatically, oh, that works. So the top guys are doing it, so I'm gonna do it. But if you used to have a conversation, you yourself, with any of those women in those pictures, in those videos with those guys, you're gonna see that oh wow, these are very shallow, unintelligent, you know, attention-seeking women, and that's not what. If you're into the more holistic space of self-improvement, the more traditional route of you want a family, you want to provide for your family, you want kids, you want a wife, and you want to live in a life aligned to yours, and you don't care about material stuff like myself, you're gonna very quickly see with those women that you're speaking to that they're not the type of women you'd want to be dealing with. So it's a big misconception of a lot of guys spend their young years, before they realise, trying to attract the wrong type of women. They're cut above in terms of intelligence, awareness, everything else. So, like, being aware of the state of the world, they're miles ahead of these women that they spend all their energy trying to attract, because you know, they might be attractive, but on a deeper level they're not. If you got them using the games that they tell you, they're not going to be the type of women you want to deal with. So what I try to tell my friends and my people I speak to in this situation is, if you're anything like us, like myself, and you're aware to the world, you've awakened, and you want something deeper and more meaningful, then you're in a small minority. You're in, let's call it a 10%, but it's not even that. Maybe the 1%, anywhere in that range. Very, very small minority of people, of a group that you're in, if you're anything like this. And the advice they give you is to attract the women in the 90%, the normies, the NPCs, you know, just your diddies, I call them, just your normal everyday people that aren't aware to this stuff, that aren't awake. They just you know, live every day the same, work, grind, and then you know, believe everything in the media, will get experimental stuff put in their body. You know, them type of people, they're training you to attract those types of people, the ones with the attachment style problems, the avoidant and the anxious attachment. Not a healthy, grounded, quality woman, you know, who's you know, has a secure attachment style. They don't train you to attract those people because they can't attract them themselves. That's the real issue. That's the thing people don't want to talk about, but that's the reason. It's because your likes of these people who have, you know, they have trauma of their own they haven't dealt with, they haven't healed, they're still caught up in they're still brainwashed by the psyop of the materialism, the chasing, the grind, that they don't even realise themselves that they're caught up in another form of brainwashing. and so they're not fully awoken themselves, and then they don't attract a healthy woman in the result. They attract the 90%, but because it looks successful, because you see people with like I said, your Andrew Tate will have as many women as he wants by his side, but what are the quality of those women? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Are they the women that you'd want to attract? If you're anything more deeper than appearance, then I can assure you you won't. But it's a big problem, because a lot of people you know, they think they're failing because they don't have a few women on their radar or whatever. But I personally, if I I'd much rather be with one good girl, you know, who's you can trust and is based and awake to everything, than to have 5 that or 10 that aren't, you know, don't know anything, completely asleep to everything, and you know, they're not going to be the good quality wife or mother that you want for your kids. So, and then another thing is, they don't, it's not what we want. Guys like us, we don't want that. We don't want a woman who's you know, in that way. We want, like I said, we want the good mother, the good wife, the awakened woman who's you know, can aid you along in your mission, not you know, to pull you away from it, and not be you know, asleep and, you know, compliant with everything that's going on in the world. Doesn't understand that everything's just, you know, there to take your energy away. We want someone who's aware of all this stuff, and the people you attract in the by playing the games, by replying. She took 10 minutes to reply, I'm going to take an hour to reply. Or all these games I see people play that just you know, like I said, any good woman's going to walk away from that instantly, and the people you're going to attract are the people with, you know, an avoidant attachment style, not the type of women you want in the first place. Yeah, like I was saying, it's not authentic to yourself to act like this if you're not that way inclined, like most of us aren't. You know, we don't want to play games. We don't want to, you know, reduce attention so they chase us and all this stuff, and you know, they train you to not do that stuff. They tell you not to, and then people look up to them because they'll have 10 attractive women on their radar, and then believe that's the way to get attention from women and attraction, when, like I said, the people you'll be attracting by doing that are the low quality women in the first place, who you wouldn't want to be with or deal with. They tell you not to, you know, not to be emotionally invested, not to pull the chair out or open the door first, or the car door for the woman, and all this stuff, the gentleman stuff that we, you know, our grandparents knew, that really is the foundation of, like, you know, being a man, being a gentleman, looking after your woman. They tell you not to do this stuff. They have to earn respect, you know, if they do this and whatever. And of course, I'm not saying, you know, if a woman shows disrespect or shows she doesn't want to be with you, don't keep trying. You know your worth. But, you know, don't play these games and have this crazy idea in your mind of this is how I'll attract a woman, by reducing my attention. The only people you're going to attract are, like I said, are the avoidant and anxious attached style women with them attachment styles. That's it. And insecure and broken women who you don't want in the first place. So it all circles back to the advice of be yourself. As cliche as that is, the best way in dating and anything in life is to just completely be yourself, and the right woman will come to you when you actually act yourself, because you do it from a confident place of, you know who you are, and that's how you are. You've got your boundaries, your standards, and you won't budge for it. And that's it. And that's how you attract the right women. That's how you attract the 10% that we're in. You attract that 10% of the good quality women by acting yourself. If you're in that if you're in that 10% where, you know, like I said, I met all the stuff I mentioned, you're gonna want someone who's in that same category, and you don't attract them by playing the games. You attract them by being authentic and true to yourself. So yeah, that's the the easy and simple advice I could give, is to completely act the way that you're wired to act, the way you want to act. Don't go against that because you don't think it's successful. That will be your downfall if you do. So I hope you enjoy it today, and be yourself, and you'll win in every aspect of life. So nice one.